going on, Jerome? Minnesota Vikings need to get back to having the meats along the defensive line, but beyond that, so they're very good at stopping the run, but and also they can rush the passer from the edge like no one's business. But they need that quick interior pass rush, A gap, B gap, all over the place. And as evidenced by the Vikings' interest in Christian Wilkins last offseason, the reported interest in Milton Williams this offseason, the Vikings want a pass rushing 3-tech. Right? And Flores, even though the Vikings play an odd front, they could work him in. No sweat. But what if I told you there was a 3-tech who can definitely get his own pass rush, get buckets, and will be significantly less than Milton Williams? Enter Levi Onwuzurike, the pride of Washington. Woo! Also, it's really good to take away good players, especially ones ascending into their prime, away from divisional rivals. It's going to be a good time, man. But Onwuzurike, 27 years young, 6'3", 290, former second-round pick out of Washington. Now, he came in 2021. It was a weird year because a lot of players had opted out because of the Rona in 2020. But Onwuzurike was a dude who just ripped things up at Washington. Now, a little bit light, a little bit small for the position, but pound for pound, just got after things, man. Just grown man strength in the upper body. Was some health concerns, but he was a dude who can definitely get after things. Unfortunately, missed the entire 2022 season due to a back injury, but he came roaring back, pun intended. Yeah, and he's actually only played around 1,257 defensive snaps throughout his 4-year career so far. So not a huge track record, but was healthy, got after things in 2024. 47 pressures, 1.5 sacks, a 10.5% pressure rate. Also, in the Week 18 game against the Vikings, he had 9 pressures. 9 pressures. Now, 0 sacks, yes. And I know people point out, whoa, you only had 1.5 sacks. And all of those were half sacks, Lance Armstrong's, in the first 4 weeks of the season. So week 5 on, he didn't have any sacks. But it's always about pressure. It's always about moving dudes off the spot. And again, advocating beyond my snorkel analytics, we need to have sack assists put in there. Do you cause the pressure that directly leads to a sack for someone else? Because sacks are a bit of puck luck. Always look for pressure and pressure rates. That's what's important. And Onwuzurike is a one-man wrecking crew and actually plays the run well for a player his size. Can be a 3-down player, health permitting, knocking on all the wood. And like I said, 9 pressures. 9 pressures against the Vikings Week 18. PFF's free agent profile guesstimation $8.25 million per year. Spot Rack actually has him at 4.5. Let's split the difference, say $6 million in. This is what PFF wrote. Onwuzurike has splashed whenever he's been healthy over his first 4 seasons in the league after getting drafted 1 round ahead of recently extended interior defender Aleem McNeil in 2021. Because remember, 2021. Lions took Onwuzurike in the 2nd round, Aleem McNeil out of NC State in the 3rd round. McNeil just got himself a major contract as a hell of a player, but Onwuzurike was supposed to be that guy, but health just put him behind the 8 ball. The former 2nd-round pick out of Washington is the penetrating 3-technique interior pass rusher that every team covets, with his 12.5% pass rush win rate in 2024, ranking as a top 15 mark at the position. And sort of weird because obviously it's coveted, but all the hype and publicity has been about Milton Williams. It had been about Osa Odighizuwa before he reportedly was going to get tagged and then got extended with the Cowboys. But Levi can get it, and we've seen him twice a year when he's been healthy throughout his career with the Lions. Here's what he brings. So pound for pound strength. So again, he clocks in at 290. Maybe he walks around at 285, but can still get things done. That quick first step, heavy hands, upper body strength is there. Consistent pressure. Like we said, 47 pressures, 10.5% pressure rate, which is really good for a defensive tackle. Now, what's interesting is that the Lions had so many injuries on defense this year that they basically just had to put Onwuzurike wherever, right? So he was at 3-tech. It's actually about 50-50 3-tech as well as 5-tech, and also had a fistful of edge rushing snaps for the Lions, and frankly was really damn good in all the spots. Some health concerns, of course, but should be a value free agent, and also don't sleep on the value of stealing away from a division rival. So in the grand scheme of things, Onwuzurike is going to be valuable all up in in there. And there is going to be some quality free agent defensive tackles out there. And the Vikings do have the cap space, but do they go all in after Milton Williams? Or is it a spot like Christian Wilkins last offseason where you're in up to a certain point? And if you get outbid, you get outbid. But Onwuzurike, I think, would be fantastic. Like Onwuzurike, Wharton, Hargrave, after the Niners cut him. Same thing with Jonathan Allen from the commies. Like, there's ways that the Vikings can instantly improve their interior pass rush. They can afford it. And also, even though this is a very good defensive tackle class in the draft, Vikings don't have a ton of draft picks. So you got to hedge your bets in free agency before you head into the draft, and you pigeonhole yourself where you need to draft a defensive tackle. So checking the boxes in free agency. Remember, free agency for need, draft BPA, and go from there. And Onwuzurike, he'd be good, man. He would be so damn good, and it would be a Kwesi special, getting a value free agent because of medical concerns, but someone who, knocking on all the wood, if he stays healthy, can produce at an extremely high level at a cheap rate. That'd be good to go. But your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings need Levi Onwuzurike, defensive tackle from the Lions in free agency. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol, production value.